a story told that can't be real, somehow must reflect the truth we feel, yeah.
We got, I think it's John?
Yeah.
How you doing?
All right, man. Hey, by the way, you can't go backwards in time. You can only go forwards in time. That's what.
No, that's what you think. I don't think.
Well, that's what Genesis is all about. Why they kicked him out of the garden, and they got the satanic angels sitting at the gate, the cherubim. Anyway.
Hey, let me ask you about that. If nobody can get to the Garden of Eden, why does it need guards?
Garden of Eden is a metaphor, man.
Okay.
It's the earth. It's all the earth, east to Eden, everything. See, when they wrote the Bible, they didn't know that the world was round, and Abraham was given all the land of the east. But that's everything, because the world's round.
Gotcha.
If you go east, what you going to end up right back where you are, right?
Well, yeah.
You can't go. Okay. My point is this, and I was trying to talk to your screener, and I don't know if I made myself, I don't know if I confused myself trying to explain to him what I was going to talk about, but it's the difference between objectivity and subjectivity. And I want to say I appreciate your show, and I'm a spiritual seeking agnostic myself, but there seems to be a certain bias towards objectivity, at least on your part, Matt.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that right. You agree with that?
Sure.
Yeah,
what you personally experience is only valid to you.
Right.
Right.
When we're talking about what is reality and among everything that's real, the only way we can have any kind of dialogue is to talk about the things that are real to both of us. And that is objective reality that's demonstrable. As a matter of fact, I'm of the opinion that anything that isn't doesn't fit in that category, shouldn't be described as real. It's some kind of esoteric experience.
Right. Well, I'm exactly the opposite. I know where you're coming from, and I see what you mean, but I'm exactly the opposite. I believe that subjective reality is the only truth, and that objectivity is a
so how do we coexist?
It's a demonic deception.
Objectivity is a demonic deception?
Right. Well, that's my personal belief. That's not a bad thing. We need demons, And by the way, what's the difference between an angel, by definition, is an extraterrestrial. And you talk about angels showing up at your doorstep. What if it was a Holy Ghost flying saucer up and, wheel in the sky like that Journey song? You know what I'm talking about?
I hear you. Did you
anyway,
have a point?
Look, I'm going to be real for a second, okay?
Good.
The
subjectively real?
Yeah, subjectively real or objectively real?
I'm not sure. I'll have to get back with you on that. The thing, there was a few weeks ago. I like to watch those. I'm not a faithful. I'm not always where I'm supposed to be at any given moment. But anyway, I appreciate the show, and I watch it when I'm home. You were talking about the story, the Genesis, the second and third, I believe, chapter of Genesis that has two different creations.
First and second, but yeah.
Is it the first and second?
Yeah.
Well, one being like the creation of man and woman, and the next one being the creation of Adam, right?
Right.
Is that basically your understanding of it as well?
They're a little different.
My understanding may not mesh with what you're talking about.
Well, don't worry about that, but it's basically one of them talks about God created man and woman, and then the next one talks about he created Adam.
Right.
Basically.
Yes.
I'm more interested in where we agree than when we disagree. I think there's power in that. The kingdom is agreement. When two or more people agree, that's the kingdom. Anyway, what my point is, you were saying that was a contradiction, and that higher intelligence couldn't, in your mind, couldn't have written it, or probably didn't write it.
No.
I'm not right.
My take on the two different Genesis accounts is I don't care. And
come on, now you can't say you don't care.
Hang on, let me finish.
Go ahead.
Let me finish. I need to be fair. It's no longer a book that is relevant to me. I have no good reason to believe that any of it's true. I don't have any reason to believe that even in metaphor that it's accurate. So there are some Christians who say that Genesis 1 and Genesis 2 have no contradiction because one is a further explanation of what happens in the other. There are others who realize that no, things are in a slightly different order, and this is probably two authors, and there may in fact be contradictions there. My position is, when I look at the text, I see things that don't agree, and I don't have an explanation for why they don't agree, nor do I accept other people's explanations for why they don't agree, and I don't care why they don't agree, because I don't think that this is real or relevant, or even important in a metaphoric sense.
Okay. Well, we'll get back to you not caring in a minute. But the point is, to me, I don't fit in either one of those categories. I don't think. I don't know. Of course, there are Christians who believe that it's like a frickin' science book. I would have
think the
I want you
Flintstones
to
is a
also acknowledge
documentary.
the fact that I didn't cuss right now, okay? Because I'm a cusser. I'm not cussing on your show, Matt, okay? But the point is, some Christians don't, they see it as, they're creationists and they're idiots. Okay, I'm not one of them either. The point is, to me, there's a fine line between contradiction and paradox, and there's a lot of value in paradox. And you can say, well, it doesn't have any metaphoric value. I don't know how you would make that kind of judgment. I mean, that's like saying Mark Twain has no relevance today, or, how can you judge the value of a metaphor?
I thought you were a spiritual seeking agnostic who only believed in subjective reality.
Yeah, that's pretty much
then
it.
Why are you asking me for my opinion? My opinion should be completely irrelevant.
Well, why would you tell him that his subjective reality isn't valid?
How can you tell me that my subjective reality isn't valid?
The only thing I said was invalid and I didn't say invalid. I said, how can you judge a metaphor for its value?
Well, so you can do it subjectively, the same way you would do anything subjectively.
See, you're twisting my words, man. You're playing the Pharisaical
What is subjective? How do you define subjective?
Look, hey, what my meaning, my subjective meaning, subjectivity is maybe different than yours because it's subjective meaning. Right. I made a very good point. And you told me you didn't care. Here you got a show about atheism. You got a show on television. You're talking to people about their faith and their religion and their lack of religion and what it means. And here you're going to tell me that you don't care?
Yes, I don't care what the book says until somebody demonstrates why I should care about what the book says. You can't.
Well, I'm not here to do that. I can't do that. I can only talk about my own experience.
Well, that's fine. But what I'm talking about is, when we talk about, for example, Christianity as a religion, somebody could call up and say, in the Bible, it says, John 3:16, that for God so loved the world that he sent his only begotten Son, and that's all the proof that you need, that Jesus was therefore divine and came directly from God. And I'm saying, no, just because the book says it doesn't make it true. I don't care about what's in the book at all until you demonstrate why I should lend any credence to the book. That's what I'm saying. When I say I don't care about the Genesis account, I'm saying you need to demonstrate, or whoever needs to demonstrate, that there's a good reason to care about what's in that book.
Well, you should care about everything, but you made my point.
When I say I don't care, I'm talking about lending credence to.
My original point is that, and you agreed with me, that you're biased towards objectivity and you minimize subjectivity. And subjectivity is a very important experience. It's part of being human.
I don't disagree that it's important to you individually. I'm talking about
all of us. That's how we communicate.
Yes, I was using the big U.
Oh,
I couldn't apply subjectivity to everyone as a group, but everyone as individuals. There's some significance there, but that's personal. What matters is how we deal the reality that we share, and how we work cooperatively in there, and the effects that we have, and the actions that we take to affect that reality. You can believe that naked pixies whisper in your ear and clean out your sink at night if you want to, but it has no bearing at all on the objective reality that we actually have to deal with. And that's where we make our decisions. Anybody who wants to believe anything, feel free. I'd prefer that they believed things for good reasons and that it was consistent with the reality that everyone experiences. But what we do based on beliefs is what's important. And what we do is certainly objective.
Well, okay. You're talking over my head now, Matt. So, but I forgive y'all for being all pharisaical and trying to twist my words with the subjectivity thing. And God bless y'all and have a good show.
Hey, I've been God blessed by a spirit-seeking agnostic. That was fun, John. Thanks. Next time we'll cut it a little shorter.
Honestly, though, I do wish he would have defined what he meant by subjective. I mean, if I twisted his words, then he was definitely using subjective in a unique, subjective way.
He's got his own subjective
could be,
definition.
But subjective means just whatever is your personal interpretation of something. And I thought it was very odd that when you started to talk about how you felt about what was in the Bible, he would say that was, somehow not correct.
Yeah.
And it's like, how can you say that to somebody after you just said subjective reality is the only reality that matters?
I don't know.
Unless it's just your subjective reality is the only reality that matters. I don't know.
Prayer. I think prayer is like masturbation. It only makes you feel good.
The other way that it's like masturbation is that you should do it at home
in your closet
and not in public schools.
Right.